The myth of normal. Baby, can you give me one of those little pink pillows over there? Babe. Killing me, Smalls. Good morning, good morning. Thank you. Ah, that's much better. Okay. It's gonna be great and preposterous. It's gonna be a really good day, but it also is gonna be a really, really busy day. Prosperous. I don't know why that word escaped me right there. That's crazy. Okay. The poet Adrienne Rich expressed the profound joys of this reciprocal design. I recalled the times when suckling each of my children, I saw his eyes open full to mine and realized each of us was fastened to the other, not only by mouth and breast, but through our mutual gaze. The depth, calm passion of the dark blue, maturely focused look. I recall the physical pleasure of having my full breast suckled at a time when I had no other physical pleasure in the world except the guilt-ridden pleasure of addictive eating. Neurobiologically, Rich was right on target. On imagining studies, a baby's smile will light up the same reward areas in the mom's brain activated by junk food or addictive drugs, releasing the same pleasure chemicals and triggering the same high. Nature, that unscrumptious drug pusher. Like all complex brain structures, mammalian bonding systems, whether of whales or chimps or rats or humans, are experience dependent for their development and activation. For the brain circuits of nurturing to function, to come online, as it were, the environment must evoke and then sustain them. Both women and men have latent child nurturing circuits in their brains, waiting for the right environment to amplify their potentials. In words of neuroscientist Jack Panksepp, he of the panic, grief, play, and care nomenclature, Dr. Panksepp identified and mapped the specific brain centers, circuits, connections, and associated neurochemicals that choreograph what he called the enchanting ballet of emotions between a mother and her infant. These include chemicals, messengers such as vasopressin, oxytocin, and endorphins, the body's natural opiates, all of which awaken in a parent's nurturing habits that are essential to the survival of the young. Hello, hello. Gracias, gracias.
Mom,
Yes, baby?
at, at the store, have you met anyone named Madeline Dunn Hansen?
At the store, have I met anyone named Maddit?
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes he wears a hat and he's like kind of like blondish orange hair, and he's like super funny.
you said he's super funny. Yeah, I've met him and his dad. What's up?
He was. He said he saw you at the convenience store and he was short on money and you helped him out.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's a cool kid, man.
Bro, he's so funny.
Yeah, he's funny, and I help out anybody that's short on money. That's mostly where my tips go, is to people that are short on money. But, of course, kids.
Huh?
And I knew he was your friend recently, so.
How did you know?
Because you said he was cool. Well, that makes me feel good. Thanks for telling me, man. I wouldn't even know that that mattered to anybody.
Right?
That is the rain, my son.
You're joking.
Bruh. That's the rain. Rain down on me.
What time is it?
It's 6:30. You gotta walk out any moment. Man. Bruh, I gave you an umbrella. Treat my umbrella respectfully and it will cover you, man. Just like I would. Imagine that being me out there. I'm covering you like the umbrella, man. Except for if you treat the umbrella bad or if you forget it somewhere, it's not gonna fight tooth and nail to get to you. It's just gonna be gone. I don't got umbrella money. I'm pretty sure that somebody gave us most of our umbrellas. Except for the donut one. That one was $5, so I bought it. But that one that I gave you is like a fancy one.
The donut one is like more fancy.
The donut one is tiny. The one you have is literally like an adult umbrella.
No, the red and blue one is like
Both of those ones are, and the red and blue one of the neighbors was throwing away, and I took it out of the trash can. I'm reading, man. Let me read. These include chemical messengers. It's so artsy looking. I couldn't believe it was in the trash. I was like, who would throw this away? This is literally the most artsy looking umbrella I've ever seen in my life.
Like one of the
old school ones. Yeah, how do you throw away an old school umbrella? It obviously did its job. Nothing was wrong with it. I love old things that still do their job. What, baby? These include chemical messengers such as vasopressin, oxytocin. Dude, why would you choose in this moment? This is where the bus comes. The bus is coming any second, dude.
Mom.
Yes. I'm not taking you to school. You better hurry up and get towards that door.
I didn't leave out my computer.
Okay, son. Oh, well.
Can you get it?
Get your shoes on, dude. You're literally supposed to be walking out the door any second. Get your shoes on right now.
I know. No, I'm just.
Your slippers are not shoes.
No, they match my jacket.
No. They actually don't. Not as good as those regular Nikes would. That's crazy.
Those Nikes are black and white.
Here, dude. Yeah, black and white matches your outfit, bro. The fact that you don't know what matching is crazy. Matching doesn't mean red on red, burgundy on burgundy. Red on... Dude.
But
matching means complementary colors. Those are complementary colors. I'm telling you right now that your slippers do not match better than the shoes that you have.
Mom, this is my computer.
Okay, well, I don't know where your computer is, son. Sorry, you're gonna have to get a loaner today.
This one is my home.
What computer are you talking about, son?
It has like a scraped mark right here.
Okay, well, it wasn't in there, so I don't know where Dad put it. Next time, you're gonna have to talk to Dad. You guys need to develop a system that works for you, and it. Love you. I love you. I'm busy. I'm reading. It's not my fault that you guys got that system.
No, it's right here. Like he knew I was gonna sit here. Weird.
All right. Okay. I love you. The body's natural opiates, all of which awaken in parent nurturing habits that are essential to the survival of the young. Recall. Like 10 minutes in, man, I was on fire. Recall, these are the chemicals that blended from a love cocktail released by natural labor. Skin to skin contact and suckling also elicit their flow in the mother. The sociology of infant and parent is thus co regulated by their interactions, and the effect of these interactions, or their absence, can be imprinted in the young human for a lifetime. Bless you. Likewise, in the dearth of such interactions, parental instincts may become muted with long term consequences for the parent child relationship. In this, as in other crucial ways, our culture has become contact starved. Let's remind ourselves that civilization, beginning with the Neolithic Revolution and the advent of agriculture, is but a blip in the course of our species' existence. No more than 12,000 years out of the millions that hominins have trod the earth, and the estimated 200,000 years or less since our own species arrived on the scene. Until then, and in many places until much more recently, even up until today, in a few isolated locations, people lived in small band hunter gatherer groups. The common early experiences of our ancestors and cousins, the small band hunter gatherers, provided a social commons for the development of human nature. The essence of being human, writes Dr. Darcia Narvaez, italics hers. The research has the research she has surveyed identified 7 early child rearing practices shared by hunter gatherer groups, practices that can constitute what she calls the evolved nest. As you read this list, I invite you to compare the experiences it includes with those of the average baby or toddler of our own time. Amid the stresses generated by our culture, even educated, middle class parents are challenged to provide these needs if they are even aware of them. Soothing parental experience, prompt responsiveness to the needs of the infant, and prevention of distress. Extensive touch and constant physical presence, including touch with movements, carrying and holding. Frequent infant initiated breastfeeding for 2 to 5 years, with 4 as the average weaning age. A community of multiple, warm, responsive adult caregivers. A climate of positive social support for mother and infant. Creative play in nature with multi aged mates. The nest Dr. Nervaez, Nervaez told me includes the mother relaxed and not stressed during pregnancy, gentle birth processes, soothing perinatal experiences, no separation of mom and baby, no infant circumcision, no painful procedures, breastfeeding, and then affectionate touch constantly in the first year and throughout childhood and life, really. Recall that it was Navarez whose contention about human beings being species atypical I quoted in chapter 8. The only beings on earth who routinely thwart their own species' inbuilt needs for growth, for healthy growth. In our culture, she said, we have pretty much unnested our children. We are missing most of the components of what helps a baby grow into their full potential. I love you. Have a good day. Please shut the door really softly so it doesn't wake everybody up. Uh, Son, no nicknames. He has nicknames. Little shit. I know. I know. Give the kid a dictionary. Dude, man. I knew that that was coming. Even though I was like, please, please don't slam the door. He has a dictionary. I shouldn't have got him his computer. I got up and got him his not even his computer. His computer was literally in front of him when he asked me to go get his computer. It's okay. It's okay. This will all come back to him being the grown man child that he will become, and I did my best. I tried so hard, but I'm trying so hard to not try so hard. I can't win every fight, and that's okay. It wasn't even a fight, it was just like a simple request. We are missing the components of what helps a baby grow into their full potential, their systems to develop properly. That's what's unnested. That's the unnestedness. Among the indigenous people who hosted her in the South American jungle, Jean Lidloff once observed an exception to tribal practices that proved a cardinal rule regarding parental discipline of children. I saw a young father lose patience once with his 1-year-old son. He shouted and made some violent motion as I watched, and may even have struck him. The baby screamed with deafening, unmistakable horror. The father stood, chastened by the dreadful sound he had caused. It was clear that he had committed an offense against nature. I saw the family often as I lived next door to them, but I never saw the man lose respect for his son's dignity again. I flinched when she mentioned circumcision. I used to perform this procedure myself, one that in the North American context has no health benefit and has been shown to cause suffering to the child, especially in the medical form I was trained. That was like a little side note. Yeah, simple request. We have seen that I still am not heard in my house. If I want the door shut quietly, I have to shut it quietly. The word dignity stands out. How many of us think of babies this way? And yet, that omission may only underscore our blind spots when it comes to children. Think about it. Even if you've never called an infant dignified, odds are you've met quite a few indignant ones. The word is not figurative either. Even babies, perhaps they especially, know when their physical and emotional integrity is being ignored or violated. Lidloff's antidote comports with Dr. Navarrese's findings about small band hunter gatherers and what has been generally observed about indigenous cultures. By and large, these did not normalize hitting their kids and still don't. Landing on the shores of the New World, the European Christians stepped, or so they believed, in the gentle spirit of Jesus, found it appalling to witness that the savages of North America avoided the corporal punishments of children. By contrast, the Puritan ethnic was to engage rod and reproof, in the words of one 17th century Massachusetts minister. This ethos may have fallen from favor since then, but not entirely. To hold the no excuse for physical punishment theory, writes Jordan Peterson, italics his, assumes that the word no can be effectively uttered to one person in the absence of a threat of punishment. The good professors, another person, is in this case a 2-year-old whom elsewhere he charmingly calls the determined varmint. For Peterson, you see, Peterson again. For Peterson, steeped in behavioral ideology, discipline is often a matter of intimidating children, something we can accomplish, he writes, because we are larger, stronger, and more capable than the child and can therefore back up our threats. He proudly boasts, when my daughter was little, I could paralyze her into immobility with an evil glance. What I should have said, yeah, one day he'll learn to have a grateful to be at, walk through a door. What I should have said was, if you slam that door, I will be taking back the hat that I let you borrow. That's what I should have said. Because I guarantee you he'd have heard me had I said it like that. Instead of saying, can you please not shut the door loudly so it doesn't wake up everybody, son? And then I would have had to stick to that. That's called a boundary. I'm learning what boundaries are. You can go ahead and slam that door, but I'm taking my hat back that I literally woke up early to go out into the cold to get. Oh, fucking shit. You gotta learn boundaries and stuff. I did a horrible job having boundaries up until most recently, so I am dealing with the repercussions of my own actions, and that is a worthy cause. The better I get at boundaries, the better they are all gonna get at boundaries, and that's a win for me. So, no kids woke up. It is okay. We lived. We're still doing good. In Britain, two headlines in the Telegraph from 2011 and 2012 respectively signaled that such attitudes are far from isolated. The rod has been spared for far too long, allowing teachers even the lightest touch of physical force will improve discipline. And school discipline, sparing the rod has spoiled the child. What can be done to reverse the collapse of discipline since the banning of the cane? Back in the world of science, the American Academy of Pediatrics, having reviewed nearly 100 studies, issued a statement in 2018 that aligns with an ancestral wisdom. It called for the end of spanking and of harsh verbal punishment of children and adolescents. Such treatment, the organization of 67,000 pediatric specialists pointed out, only increases aggression in the long term and undermines the development of self control and responsibility. By elevating stress hormone levels, it may cause harm to healthy brain development and lead to mental health problems. More recently, a Harvard study showed that the damage wrought by spanking to the child's nervous system and psyche may be as severe as that caused by intense violence. The good news is that the tide is turning, with young parents less and less likely to employ corporal disciplining, a welcome instance, perhaps, of the future leading us back to the past. For another example of the modern disconnection from instinct and body, take breastfeeding. According to massive surveys in North America and internationally, the practice confers physical health benefits on both the child and, in the long term, the mother. As Dr. Lori Feldman Winter, chair of the American Academy of Pediatrics, told The New Yorker, the economist Emily Oster, in devaluing the practice, simply gets to the science wrong. It's basically as bad as the anti-vaxxers. She's talking about me. What do I think of your profile picture? Love bug. Hi. I can't really see it. It's really, really tiny. I'm sorry. The Bluey cup? How do you see the Bluey cup? How are you seeing the Bluey cup? I'm not using the Bluey cup right now. Thank you, Engel. I appreciate you. Uh. Elsewhere, Osler writes that motherhood can be lonely and isolating. Too true. But those attributes pertain not to the motherhood itself, but to the motherhood in an alienating culture. Whew. Horticulture on the moon would doubtless be a maddening endeavor, but that tells us nothing about gardening, only that certain conditions must be in place if we hope to succeed. At one point, Oster recounts an experience of attending her brother's wedding, trying to nurse my screaming daughter in a 100-degree closet. Oh no! Oh no! Not a 100-degree closet! Man, that was a struggle. Definitely having to fight to feed my baby in public with concern that my partner would be upset, that somebody might take a peek or sneak a look at my tits. And it was so nice when I got older and I said, I'm whipping these bad boys out anywhere I want at any point, and if anybody looks, you have the choice to knock them out or mind your damn business. You should not have to fight to feed your baby. Your baby should be able to be fed anytime, anywhere, and it should be everybody else's freaking problem. If your baby doesn't eat, people should be more concerned with that than you having your boob out, when literally that's the majority of online the world freaking hides to go check out some boobies. So breastfeeding should not be a big deal. It is hard to conceive of a more apt metaphor for the abnormal, stressful conditions our culture imposes on infants and mothers than the closet. Shamed or shunned into isolation, hidden away, claustrophobic, cramped, sweltering. Given how interpersonal neurobiology works, it is any wonder the infant is screaming. In a stressed environment, as I often witnessed in family practice, breastfeeding itself can become an onerous and frustrating chore, a source of maternal misery and infant distress. My daughters will never, ever have to be uncomfortable about breastfeeding, or any woman around me. And I back that up. The same goes for some forms of sleep training. The assumption that infants need to be trained to sleep is based on a cultural view that the child should adjust to the parenting schedule and agenda, which for working parents or for stressed parents lacking support may be a legitimate, even unavoidable longing. But we should be clear on what is being lost. As the psychologist Gordon Newfield points out, being in physical touch is the infant's only way of connecting with the parent. Her resistance to being put down and having the parent follow the Spockian counsel to say good night affectionately but firmly, walk out of the room, and don't go back is simply an expression of her essential need. Shutting down our response to a baby's distress may also weaken our own parenting instincts, with consequences that long outlast the child's infancy. In 2006, I wrote a newspaper article titled, Why I No Longer Believe Babies Should Cry Themselves to Sleep, pointing out that leaving small infants alone stresses their brain with potentially negative effects. It also hurts a mother's heart. I quoted my late mother in law, Monica, who had a painful memory of being a young mom in the late 1940s and early 50s and following medical counsel to ignore her infant's cries. It was torture for me to do it. She told me, It went against all of my motherly emotions. Some years later, the paper's website republished the piece, which was quickly shared over 80,000 times, drawing many responses. One of them was priceless. The article is nothing more than prefrontal lobe BS. There is no way an infant's brain patterns are permanently psychologically damaged at such a young age. There is no way that your prefrontal cortex will permanently adopt patterns that will translate into adulthood. No way. If that would be the case, then the last three generations to rule this earth, boomers, pre boomers, Generation X, would all have been emotionally unstable and plagued with psychological issues. Well, then, I thought to myself, I rest my case. Why parental stress matters. Especially in infancy, but throughout childhood, the young human uses the emotional and nervous systems of the caring adults to regulate her own internal states. The interpersonal biological math is elementary. The more stressed the adult, the more stressed the child. Extensive research has demonstrated that when stressed, parents are less patient and more punishing and harsher with their young children. Stress impairs their capacity to be calm, responsive, and attuned. As a recent review by leading researchers pointed out, in more stressful environments for parents, children not only experience less protection from environmental stressors, but also more likely to have stress induced relationships with caregivers. Another study showed that while elevated stress induced more punitive attitudes in mothers, increased levels of support favorably diminished them. Contemporary science affirms ancient wisdoms once more. Parental stress expresses itself in less overt ways too, such as distraction and emotional absence. Many parents, though loving, are frequently preoccupied by genuine concerns about relationship issues or economic troubles or personal problems, and as a result, just aren't as attentive or present. This affects development as surely as does parental rage or coldness. Primitive primate experiments show that infants can undergo severe separation reactions even though their mothers are visually but not psychologically available. Reports that renowned researcher, psychologist, and theorist Alan Shore, Dr. Shore, calls such non contact proximate separation, so close but so far. It's a dynamic that many children in our society experience owing to the stresses parents habitually endure. The child, the message the child gets is, "You are not worthy of my attention. You must work to earn it." Whether or not we explicitly recall such experiences, their imprint survive in our unconscious and in our nervous systems. Making matters more stressful is the alienation imposed by financial hardship. The restlessness of modern day parenting has a powerful motivation: economic anxiety. The New York Times reported in 2018, for the first time, it's as likely as not that American children will be less prosperous than their parents. For parents, giving children the best start in life has come to mean doing everything they can to ensure that their children can climb to a higher class, or at least not fall out of the one they were born into. The unintended impact of such fearful, status driven child rearing is that the children's irreducible emotional needs fall secondary to the desperation of parents striving to ensure the academic and financial success of their offspring. Recently, I was told by a close eyewitness of a middle class mother yelling at her 5-year-old son who was back balked at doing his homework, "You're not thinking of your academic future." The poor mom shouted at the preschooler. If only the youngster could have retorted, "Yeah, well, you're not thinking of my psycho emotional future." For some two-parent families at a certain social class, having both parents working may be a choice. I love my kids. They are amazing, writes Oster, but I wouldn't be happy staying home with them. It isn't like I like my job better. If I had to pick, the kids would win every time. But the marginal value of time the first hour with my kids is great, but by the fourth, I'm ready to have some time with my research. My job doesn't have this nosedive in marginal value. The highs are not as high, but the hour to hour satisfaction declines much more slowly. Oster is wise to value e- the quality of the hours she spends parenting over their mere number and has every right to claim her choice, as we all do. For far too long, women's self expression and validation through the fulfillment of meaningful work apart from homemaking and squelched and frustrated. Were squelched and frustrated. And of course, neither the opportunity to return to meaningful employment nor the pressure to resume working, no matter what the cost of parenting, is equally distributed among women. Class, as always, is a hugely significant variable. Many parents are compelled to enter the workforce from dire economic necessity or to rejoin it far too prematurely. How can they think of their children's future when they can barely provide for the present? This is particularly the case in the United States, where fewer than 20% of new mothers have access to paid leave. The problem is even worse for families of color. Myra Jones Taylor, Chief Policy Officer at the Children's Development Nonprofit, 0 to 3, told The Guardian parents, she said, just can't afford to stay home with their babies. There are much more civilized policies in place in some countries, particularly in North Europe, where even fathers are offered paternity leave. Yeah, yoga's coming right after this, and I can't wait because this part is hard. Yoga's easy and feels good, and I love it. This reading is taking me out, especially what we're reading about. It's so stressful. I can't even lie. The reading about the babies and the breastfeeding and this is so stressful. Like, I would not be in here if I wasn't me. Uh, God bless your souls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're on our last page. Thank goodness. This is stressful. This pages are stressful. I'm like, can we get past the child, like the baby part and the little part? But I have babies, so I'm also like in my mind going, huh? I'm like flashing back as I'm reading. This is horrible. But I'm also like, huh? I instinctively was doing okay. Like, but also I had to fight tooth and nail. Trauma inducing. Oh my gosh, Dodge. These last couple chapters have been so trauma inducing. I've been like holding back tears for part of it. Like, but I will be a force to be reckoned with. I have 3 daughters, and when they have babies, I will be there so by their sides. I'm just like the most prepared person on the planet, I feel like. I won't get to do mine again. I mean, I could, but I don't want more babies, but to be a guardian over a pregnant woman. If I could go back in time and be a guardian of myself, that would be crazy. I can be a guardian now, though. Told the Guardian, parents, she said, just okay. 1 in 4 American women returns to work within 2 weeks of giving birth. A mere third of the length of postpartum maternity leave suggests accepted by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Even that paltry recommendation by the ACOG seems intended only to allow the maternal body to heal and recover from the trivials of labor, given especially how many births these days involve surgical intervention. Such a brief postpartum absence from work leaves the needs of the child entirely out of consideration. For healthy child development, according to the child's neurobiological requirements, a much longer period with the mother is necessary, ideally for a minimum of 9 months until the infant reaches a stage of relative biological maturity. The sudden loss of maternal contact is, for the infant, a shock. As we know from animal studies, even creatures whose period of dependence is much shorter than ours. The British anthropologist Colin Turnbull spent 3 years living with pygmies in what was then known as Belgian Congo in Central Africa. Until recently, these tribal people followed ways of life dating back, likely with little alteration, for thousands of years. He related his observations in his classic work, The Forest People. The infant, he writes, knows his real mother and father, of course, and has a special affection for them, and they for him. But that from an early age, he learns that he is the child of them all, for they are all children of the forest. In the small band hunter gatherer milieu, the extended family and clan formed as an indispensable network of warm, responsive support. Far from being a two-person show, much less a solo performance, parenting originally functioned within a broad circle of attachments, the multi-generational clan where consistent affection was modeled, encouraged, and shaped. We made it! We made it through! No. I fucking hate this book so much. 43 minutes. All right. We are ahead of schedule, thank goodness, because I have so much to do today before work. It's gonna be a challenge, but we are no stranger to challenges. Meant, can you sub to me? What? Oh, thank you, thank you. I can find you a book on the history of exploration of the Arctic. It's far less traumatic. For the challenge, it has to be like a self-help book. That's why I chose this one. I'm wondering if I'm thinking about the next books that I'm gonna choose to read. Probably one of the ones that I already have. Probably one that I've already read. Oh, snap. I totally forgot that's where I put that. When I think about my future, I think that it will definitely be on a self-sufficient land. Like, I'll have my own land and I will have a farm with animals and a garden, and I will have my own artillery, and hopefully generations. Hopefully, I doubt my dad will be. If my dad could turn around things, then he would definitely be obviously invited to the land. But ideally, whoever my husband's, parents or family, they would be living somewhere on the large property. My sister will be there, maybe in her house. That guy isn't coming. He's not allowed, but whoever she marries and their children. And then when the apocalypse happens, we will be totally prepared. Weapons of mass destruction. Yeah. We'll already have been self-sufficient and be good. So we will just have to keep people off of the property, obviously, because people will be probably trying to find shelter and things when everything hits the fan, because things is gonna hit the fan, obviously. And there won't be social media. We won't be on social medias. There won't be any of this. We'll return back to the hunter-gatherer times, and I will be looking after my daughters. And, you know, maybe we'll invite a couple other, like, families or something that are... Uh-oh. The apocalypse times are already here. If this keeps... Oh, yeah, for sure. Gross, you guys. Gross. I don't think I'm going to end the live for the stretch. I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. It sounds like there's a mouse back there. Sounds like I have it all figured out. I do have it all figured out. I just want a simple life. I just want one man to love for the rest of my life, and the family to all be a village of people just there to support each other. I don't want all the extra stuff. I don't need any of it. Ooh. My children to be happy and healthy and not worried about society, all these things. I obviously can't impose my beliefs and thoughts onto my family, but I can be in alignment with my other person when they are with me and they exist. Self-sufficiency, simplicity sounds perfect. Oh yeah, that's gonna be the day. That'll be the day for sure. No rat race, no competing things for your attention and focus. All right. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we end this live and restart for the other live, or should we just keep going? I know it helps the algorithm. This says the myth of normal, so I'm gonna end this and then I'm gonna restart. We gotta get to this 45 minutes like stat, so I will be back within 4 minutes. With any luck, AI falls in a massive heap of poop. At least the next generation gets a chance. I don't know. AI has been... I really was like, AI, it's cool. It's such a good assistant. I'm like, man, you keep messing up. You keep messing up. Be smarter. They're saying you're so smart. Be smarter. Basic stuff that you could find on the internet. I shouldn't have to do my own macros because you keep getting it wrong. I've already told you the brands. It's okay. I digress. I gotta go. I love you guys. I'll see you in 3 minutes.